students, I hope you're fine and safe. Happy Ramadan with all the best. As you see on the board, today we are going to study the passive voice. A lot of students find it hard to move from the active voice to the passive voice. So with this video and other videos that will deal with the passive voice, you will see, dear friends, that it's super easy. So let's get started. First of all, when do we use the passive voice? So the passive voice is first used when the subject of the action or the doer of the action is not important. In other words, the action is more important than the subject of the action. For example, Amina has fed the cat. So this is an active sentence. You have the subject, verb, and object. Amina has fed the cat. So to move to the passive, you see that the place of the object and subject changes. The cat has been fed by Amina. So Amina is no longer important. What is important is that the cat has been fed. The cat is no longer hungry. So the second use of the passive voice is when the subject of the action is not known. We don't know who did the action. For example, someone has fed the cat. So as you see in the active voice, we have someone. So we don't know the subject of the action with someone. So it's better to use the passive voice. The cat has been fed. Is it clear? Now let's study the form rule of the passive voice, okay? How can we move from the active sentence to the passive sentence? So of course, to move to the passive, we need an active sentence. Then we have to go through steps, okay, for the operation to be successful. First step, we have to identify the parts of the active sentence, which means subject, verb, and object. So Lina is the subject. Okay, so try to cut the active sentence into subject, verb, and object. So Lina is subject, makes is the verb, and a cake is the object. Okay, second thing, we move the object to become subject. Okay, a cake or the cake, okay, so the object becomes subject. Then we check the tense of the active verb. So the active verb is makes. What is the tense? So it's a simple present. Then we go back to the passive sentence. So we have the object become subject plus to be. The verb to be is important in the passive voice. We conjugate it in the tense of the active verb. So the active verb is present simple. To be is present simple. So the present simple of to be is is, and are. So the form of the verb depends on the subject. So here the cake, what are we going to use? So of course, is. Okay, so the cake is. Then we go back to the verb, the active verb. We need the past participle of the verb. What is the past participle of the verb to make? It's made, of course. The cake is made. Clear? Then we need by. So the cake is made by who? By, of course, Lina. So as you see, the subject, okay, is placed at the end of the sentence. So this is how we transform an active sentence to a passive one. So this is the passive form. Okay, so the cake is made by Lina. So the object becomes subject, the subject becomes object, we place by before, okay? Then what is important, you have to work a lot on the active verb. If it's present, to be should be present. If it's past, to be should be past, okay? So we'll see the rules of tenses right now. Is plus past participle of the active verb. So here it's made. So the cake is made by Lina. Is that clear? Good. So to recap, the passive voice equals the object of the active sentence plus to be in the tense of the active verb plus past participle of the active verb plus by plus subject of the active sentence. Is it clear? Good. Okay, so since the passive voice is a long lesson and needs more concentration, we will focus on just the passive voice with present tense in this video. Okay, so let's start with the first example. The kids eat cookies. So let's apply together the form rule. So what are we going to do first? So we have to identify the parts of the sentence: subject, verb, and object. So the kids is subject, eat is verb, and then cookies is object. So we are going to move the object to become subject, cookies. Okay? Then the subject becomes, okay, the subject becomes object, the kids. Okay, so we place by before the kids. Now let's check the tense of the verb. So of course here the verb is eat. It's in the present simple. As I told you before, the present simple of to be is is, and are. So the form of the verb to be depends on the subject. So you have cookies, it's plural. So they. Cookies, of course, we are going to use are. So cookies are plus past participle of the verb, which is eaten. So cookies are eaten by the kids. So this is the passive sense. So when you have present simple, the verb is present simple. In the passive voice, it becomes either or is or are plus past participle of the verb. So be careful about the past participle of the verb. If it's regular, it's verb plus ed. If it's irregular, of course, you have the list of irregular verbs, right? Good. Now let's shift to the second example. They are playing football, okay? So the object becomes subject, football. So here, as you see, they. We don't know who are they, so it's no need to use by them, okay? So the object becomes subject. Now the focus on the verb. So the verb is play. In which tense? Are playing. It's present continuous, okay? So when the verb is present continuous, okay, the passive voice, it becomes is, are, plus being, plus past participle of the verb. So football, we need the verb to be either is, or are. So what are we going to choose? You have football. So it's, of course, is. Football is plus being. Okay, football is being plus past participle of the verb is being played. Full stop. Okay, since the subject is not known, as I told you before, there is no need to write by them. So the passive voice is football is being played. Okay? Another example with the present tense, you have the thieves have robbed the bank. Okay, so let's cut this sentence into subject, verb, and object. So the thieves, subject, have robbed is the verb. The bank is the object. So the easy operation. So the bank, okay, becomes subject. The thieves becomes object. Okay, we place, of course, here by. Then we concentrate on the verb. So you have the verb rob in which tense? It's the present perfect. So present perfect, simple, equals either have or has plus past participle of the verb. Okay, so present perfect in the passive voice becomes, so present perfect, okay, simple becomes have or has plus been plus past participle of the verb. Okay, so here you have the bank. What are we going to use? Have or has? It's singular. Of course, we are going to use has plus been plus the past participle of the verb, which is robbed. Okay? So the bank has been robbed by the thieves. Is it clear? Good. The last example is the following. She has been watching TV for 2 hours. Okay? So as usual, we identify the parts of the sentence. Subject, verb, and object. Okay? So the object becomes subject, which is TV. So here she is not known. We don't know who is she, so no need to write by her. So we keep just the subject here, TV, okay? Then we focus on the verb. So which tense we have here with watch? Has been watching. So the tense is continuous. So it's present, perfect, continuous, okay? So when it is present, perfect, continuous, okay, the passive is has or have plus been plus being, okay, plus being plus past participle of the verb. Is it clear? So TV is singular. We are going to use has. So TV has been, then being, okay, then the past participle of watch, which is watched. So the passive sentence is the following. TV has been being watched. And this form is rarely used. Okay? Good. I hope, dear friends, that you start understanding the passive voice. This lesson will be clearer with the coming videos. Until then, take care, stay at home, and bye-bye.